Like, I think that's Shanks's overall power. He holds the knowledge of the free world secrets. You know what I'm saying? But he also holds knowledge of secrets that the world government will never release. So that's kind of his edge against everybody. There's knowledgeable pirates, but they don't know what the world government know. The Five Elders are pretty knowledgeable. They don't know everything the pirates know. Feel me? Like the poneglyphs is one of the prime examples of that, because if the world government knew where the red poneglyphs was, they would literally destroy the places that housed them and make sure that you would never be able to find them, because that is the key to the One Piece. Yet they have no idea, because all of these places happen to be all the places we've seen have a poneglyph are unaffiliated with the world government, number one. And if you're not, affiliated with them, no one goes here. Nobody goes to Wano. Nobody goes to Fishman Island outside of like pirates. So it's like he's who he need to be when it matters.
Welcome to another episode of Ship Talk, our One Piece talk show where we dive into everything happening in the world of One Piece. Saul, Scotto, I'm Jay, and as always, thank you for being a part of the crew. Now, last week, you were making a very strong point of it being 100% true, 100% factual, that we know that Harald was Dami Reversi when he showed up back to the castle, and there was the whole incident with him and Loki. After going back and doing some research, because I knew I wasn't tripping, and you made me sit here and think that I was wrong. But after going back and doing some research, everything that I saw shows that it wasn't confirmed that he was actually Dami Reversi'd. And all it showed was a silhouette of him. So what you were saying as far as like it showed us that, you took that as that's him being Dami Reversi'd. But what I was saying was we just don't know if that's what actually was the case. And then also, like, and we'll get into this a little bit deeper, but in this chapter, it started talking about the three covenants and things like that. That just further supports the idea that there's other possibilities of what could have happened at the moment that Harald dies at the castle in Elbaf. So what do you have to say for yourself, sir?
I'd like to say you are correct as far as new information being presented, but I'm still 100% leaning into my theory that he was Dami Reversi, only because it's the theme of the arc. We didn't even get introduced to this power until Elbaf. It happened to Dory and Bragi first, and then right after them, they jump into flashback mode. It only makes sense for me to think that the man who devoted himself to the gods, in a sense, he defected, and they Dami Reversi'd him. I also tripled down on my theory because Shanks had the same seal, literally speaking, Harald had. Shanks let somebody eat his arm. I wonder why he gave away his arm. Maybe it was so that if he ever defected, he couldn't be taken control of, which would, probably happen to her. As soon as he didn't want to do what they wanted him to do, or as soon as he realized that y'all aren't ever going to add us to the world government. Y'all are using me, and pretty much this is what it is. Once he probably got to that realization, well, time's up.
These are good theories and concepts.
That's just what I think. Now, we don't know for sure, but that I'm standing strong, man.
And that's a good thought process. I'm just saying that
no, it wasn't
point of bringing it up
confirmed.
Was
yeah,
saying
facts.
that we just don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't like Dami Reversi.
We saw it. They said
facts.
it. It's 100% facts.
Good insinuation, though. Good insinuation.
It's a great insinuation, but it's also very much a possibility that he went there as their lapdog and was on some type of mission, and Loki barred. Well, Loki showed up and he was already being stabbed by the guards. So the guards barred. Speaking of Shanks, though, it does show that he has now, after 24 years, so he's 24, right? He has now become a blade of the God Knights. That's another thing that we were talking about, as at what point do you think that Shanks or Roger and them found out who he was? So Shanks obviously, or not obviously, but in the story it shows that he is reunited with them at 24 years of age. But as we know from Shanks, he's always got some sort of motive, right? And what that motive is, we don't know. He's mysterious, so we don't really know too much about him. But it just seems like he's there for a reason, and it's not to be a God Knight.
Yeah.
So it's possible that he could have found out a long time ago and then just devised some sort of plan
Yeah.
of like
My
what to do.
my theory on that, as far as like Shanks goes, it all derives from that singular moment and when they return from Laugh Tale. Again, the thing that we have to go off of, like actual factuals from the story, the Roger Pirates know the history of the world. We know Buggy and Shanks were not with them when they actually found the One Piece because Buggy had gotten sick. But I still very much believe Shanks holds all of the knowledge that the rest of his crew members held. Yeah, I don't think he got to finish the voyage and see it, but I'm pretty sure he knows everything. Same as Rayleigh, same as Scopper, same as uh Crocus, the living Laboon. They all know the ins and outs, like they know everything. I think Shanks is one of the few living people who actually know everything. And I think that's his advantage, over the fellow emperors like Kaido or Big Mom or even Whitebeard because, well, now Whitebeard, I would say they equals because we know Roger told Whitebeard the history of the world. Like Whitebeard let us know it. So, but still, I think that he's just one of the few people who know it all. So he knew that this was the play. I have to go do this and, set these things up so that whatever is supposed to happen can happen. Because mind you, this is before he steals the Nika fruit. This is before he got a crew from our POV as far as this chapter goes. All we know is Shanks just pops up 24 years old reuniting with his family. But he could have already been a pirate. He could have already had his first couple crewmates and told them, yo, hold on, side mission. We don't know.
Right. Plus, it shows the silhouette of him destroying pretty much a bunch of Marie Joie and setting that whole thing off with freeing the slaves, which sets into the whole story of Fisher Tiger and all that stuff. And that further shows that he's obviously got some sort of like other
Yeah.
motive of basically just infiltrating the God's Knights.
No, for sure.
But I know, Scotto, you had an interesting theory
I
on
did.
that, on why he's actually who he is or what's going on with Shanks.
I did. Now, I previously had a very interesting theory. Right now, I'm more so under the belief that Shanks is a good guy. But there was a while when I first started really getting into One Piece where I thought that Shanks could ultimately be the ultimate villain of the manga slash animation. And the reason why I say that is because, like you all just pointed out, it's always been mysterious shadows around Shanks and his abilities, his name, everything. Like, we got to learn a little bit throughout the years, but it's literally been 2 decades and we still don't know too much about Shanks. But now we're learning that he was once part of the he was once a blade of the God's Knights. Yeah, he's up to something. Now this is a theory that I'm not fully under anymore, but all I'm saying is he was the person who found the Nika fruit. He's the person who gave it to our main character, Luffy. So what in reality, he was really trying to play his hand in the part of the story to get whoever it's going to be to get to the One Piece and then take it from him because he was not on the original journey of the One Piece. Like he was there with the crew, but he did not go to get the One Piece. And we all know this. So like,
That your
I'm
theory,
just saying
I ain't gonna lie.
it
What you
could
saying
make
hold
sense.
weight because right after Wano, literally speaking, we all powwowing, we feeling good. Shanks
Mhm.
tells good old Ben Beckman, hey, brother, it's time we go get that. So it's like, it's crazy because we now know for sure you do want the One Piece. The One Piece, as Oda has been, alluding to for so long, is an actual something with relevance to the world, and the person who gets it can essentially shape the world for their choosing. It's my understanding of, like how the One Piece would work. So that makes perfect sense. I'm not the child of prophecy. I'm actually not the guy. But if I can find the guy, you know what I'm saying? You just got to basically find the key to the door, essentially. And Shanks is,
Mhm.
the medium. I can't use it, but I can get you right so you can use it. And once you use it, I can take it. I mean, and that's classic piracy too. That is
It
right
is.
up the alley of the pirate getting
This
down.
is a pirate story.
No,
Like,
for real.
I'm just saying.
Nah, for real. I ain't gonna lie. And it is kind of outlandish. But again, why would he state, I think it's time for us to go after the One Piece? Why would you care about the One Piece? You're 40. You could have been tried to get it. You waiting until, you know what I'm saying? You wait until Kaido and Big Mom fall. people who viewed you as an equal. And we know this from Kaido because in that silhouette where he was, picturing the strongest people he ever fought, Shanks was in there.
Shanks was there for
Just like
sure.
Rocks, just like Whitebeard, like he was a part of that group of respected strength.
Yeah. Showing Shanks as a God's Knight or the blade of the God Knight or whatever, showing him as that really just opens up a lot of questions because it makes you think, okay, what's his motive? What's his plan? What's he got going on? Because we know Shanks today as who he is. But then it also makes you think Shanks as a pirate, as a emperor of the sea, things like that. It makes you think, is he actually acting as a God Knight or did he defect? Right? It's you just really just don't know.
Yeah, everything's up in the air. We don't know if he is, the son of Roger, who we thought was his daddy. Because mind you, before
Right.
we found out that he was Saint Shanks, we just thinking you came out of a box, little bro. We don't know nothing about your, nothing. You just the baby from the treasure chest.
Right.
So you could be following the footsteps of the guy that you view as your father, the pirate king, the late Gold Roger, or you could be pulling a Dofi. Because that's another thing that I wanted to talk about as far as like Shanks being a celestial and this, that, and the third. Have y'all noticed the hierarchy? Doflamingo's family was nowhere near the same status as Shanks' family is. Yet they're the same class of people. They're all celestials, but the Figurlins hold weight in Marie-Joie, for real, for real. The Don Quixotes didn't really, they was just kind of there, bro. Like, they part of the, but that makes me think like, yo, is Shanks's, like, because his lineage is this powerful, like you said, he could be doing all of these things and it's swaying either way. Like you said, he could be a double agent for the Celestials or he could be a double agent for the Pirates. We literally have no idea, and it's crazy.
I mean, there's a lot of evidence against it. Like, obviously, he's freeing Fisher Tiger. Well, it shows a silhouette, but it's him. It's got to be him, right? Because he's got the short hair and it's not Shamrock.
He announced, like Fisher Tiger announced a god of the knight of the blade of God or whatever.
Right.
Shamrock is a knight.
Right.
The only other blade that we know is Harald. That show wasn't Harald.
Well, Fisher Tiger said
he called out. He didn't say Shanks' name, but he said a blade of God. He was prepared to fight.
He said you a knight. Damn it, you a knight of God. So that doesn't really say anything, but it's showing us a short hair, so it can't be Shamrock. So it's got to be Shanks, right? So there's a lot of evidence against it. He's freeing the slaves. He's causing all this destruction. And then he steals the Nika fruit. He didn't let Luffy take it, but
that was not part of the plan.
So there's a lot of evidence against him being a double agent for the God's Knights.
For me, it looks like evidence, but again, if I have my own motive and I need you to believe something, I'm gonna do what I need to do to make you believe that. So for Luffy, Shanks is the greatest pirate ever, the nicest guy. He's Saint Shanks. Literally, it's crazy that happens to be his real name, and theoretically, that's how Luffy views him. Like, you know what I'm saying? But again, bro, you could just be playing the long game. You could be aware of all the things that you know, and you could just know, I need y'all to do this. I can't do what I want to do until you do what you have to do because only you can do it.
Yeah, I think
that could be a case.
I think it's more so that it's hard for me to believe that he's working as a God's Knight.
I don't think he's a God's Knight.
I think he's either fully supporting Luffy 100%, or like y'all said, he wants to rule the world himself.
I think he just wants the One Piece. I don't know what he want to do with it, but I'm under the belief that everything's a means to an end. Again, he already announced that Luffy wasn't supposed. He was there to give that fruit to Ace. Like, he had a plan. Luffy, you messed it up. Because you've messed it up, I now have to go and do other things to, you know what I'm saying? I guess guide the plan properly because you went and messed it up. But Shanks didn't trip because, as the world government announced, devil fruits have a mind of their own. They will run from you. The Nika fruit was on the loose. Nobody can eat it. It didn't want them to. It let Luffy eat it. So it's like, if Shanks knows what I think he knows, I'm pretty sure he was just like, okay, we'll bet. I thought it was Ace. It ain't. It's you. Cool. And he got everything in motion from her. Because, I mean, he's done too much to inadvertently help Luffy to not have some sort of end game plan that it's just, oh, you know, I really love Luffy. He's cool.
Right.
No. Like,
Right.
that has to be a something he's after.
And that's what drives this theory, in my opinion, because of that. He's always there every time something happens. Every time something happens with Luffy that's monumental, even if Luffy doesn't know it, Shanks was there.
He's
Like,
very
like
he's
you
very
feel me?
calculated in everything he
Yeah.
does. He's
And,
he's at the center of everything. He
bro,
Everything.
no,
shows up at the
literally.
end of the Paramount War. He shows up.
Fisher Tiger.
Suspicions.
We thought Fisher Tiger was just Himothy. You mean Shanks freed him? What you doing here? You feel me? We thinking, you know, all type of stuff. And a lot of the times, it's literally, oh, well, no, Shanks did that.
But surely he knows at this point there's no stopping Luffy.
No, see, that's the thing. He's very aware. He needs Luffy to unlock something.
Yeah.
Luffy is the one, the destined key to something. And Shanks needs him to open it.
Do you think that they're gonna get Emu out of the way first, and then the final battle is gonna be between
Yeah, up with
Luffy
the
and
pirates, yes.
Luffy and
Mhm.
Shanks or something like that?
It's gonna be
'Cause
I told y'all
just
last
the
time,
pirates.
man.
What'd you say?
Somebody. I told y'all last time that right now, currently, I think the team up's going to be Blackbeard and Luffy against Emu, and then the ultimate one-on-one between them. But with this theory, like, I don't know, it may be a three-way. You feel me?
I mean,
Like
I know
a
that we're in
ultimate
the
1v1v1.
I know that we're in the Final Saga, but we know the story's nowhere near finished. So
Facts.
with it being a
Right? And
lot
that's
of
what
But look though, another thing that we
that's
discounted.
what gets me.
hold on, with it being a lot of content around Emu right now, I just don't think there's. I mean, even though Emu's not actually on Elbaf, so they obviously have to meet Emu at some point. I don't think Emu's the final boss, pretty much.
No, I think
You
it's
don't?
I don't know because we're still so early in the Final Saga. I think there's a very high chance that Emu is the final boss, but there is a possibility once you start thinking about all the Shanks stuff that there is. Because we still have to get to Laugh Tale. They have to find out all the information. We haven't yet to find out what any of that information is.
facts.
It's
This is how I see it. Oda showed us a panel a while back on Wano where he literally fleshed out the contenders of the new era. The One Piece will be found, and it will be one of these people. We seen Dragon, we seen Shanks, we seen Buggy, we seen Luffy, we seen Emu, we seen Blackbird, we seen Sabo, and who else? It was one more person. But I'm thinking from what Oda has told us, right? I'm gonna write a war arc that makes Marine Ford looks like a side mission. These are all of the 9 factions that will be the war arc. And they will all be up against each other. Some may be allied.
is
You know
Emu
what I'm
in it? Do you
saying?
think Emu is in this picture?
No, Emu isn't it? Like in that silhouette. I forgot what chapter it is. But no, like he showed us. It's Buggy, Emu, Sabo, Dragon, Luffy,
So it's everybody in there.
yeah, it's all of the important people.
Mhm.
Shanks. I think each one of these people will play a significant role in whatever the final war is. And I'm knowing it's already a lot of like interconnected beef amongst them. Amongst the people who are the final players, everybody's not cool. Luffy and Blackbird ain't the only ones with beef amongst that group of people. You feel what I'm saying? So I think it's gonna be an all-out hell in a cell. Winner takes all. We all here, we all know what's up. Who is it? And I think as people start to lose, you'll see people start to defect to a side. You know what I'm saying? And you'll see the lesser players start to support the bigger ones until we get, you know. And I think overall, the 9 people will fall under the 3 factions of Luffy, Blackbird, and Emu. You will be supporting one of these 3.
What about Shanks?
Again, I think Shanks, he's part of the 9, but you will be supporting one of these 3. You will either be helping Luffy, helping Emu, or Blackbird. And the only reason that I believe that is because we know that Blackbird is Luffy's equal, narratively speaking, and Luffy's the literal main character. So if Blackbird is his counterpart and Emu is the presented big bad, you're under one of these 3 people. Like, you won't be over them, that's for sure. Shanks, you're important, but you're not as important as Blackbird.
I don't know, man. Shanks is getting a lot of screen time right now.
He is, but he's not
It's
a
a
D.
mystery.
In the world of One Piece, the D family, they're the important ones. You a side character. Shanks, you a side character. You important.
It's a-
You're a hefty side character, but bro, you know what I'm
He's
saying?
in
You're
the
not of the D
disrespect.
family. You're not a Davy. those are the people who we know bring the Don. They are the ones who really changed the world. Shanks, that ain't you, cuz.
It'll be interesting to see how they lay out the rest of Shanks' history and his motives and plans and things like that. They also showed Figureland introducing Shanks to Harold in the manga or whatever, the chapter. And Harold, he looks familiar. He's like, have I seen you before? But that just makes you think, it's like, okay, why are you just now thinking like, hey, I've seen you before? When he has a twin.
Well, he stated that he said that first to Shamrock. He said that when he first seen Shamrock, he said that to him first. Hey, you look familiar. So him saying it to Shanks is the second time. Because he stated that in chapter, like, I thought this first when I seen your brother. You look familiar, but again, Shamrock has the long hair. It wasn't until he met Shakes and that, when Frigolins like, look at my boys, that he's having that realization again, dang, why do I feel like I know you, little bro? You know what I'm saying? But that was his second time. And that's probably why he was unable to grasp that he actually did know him, because maybe I am just tripping. I thought I knew your first son, but he got long hair and I don't. And then the man got it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those, he probably just didn't even, just brushed it off. You feel me?
Yeah. I mean, that also just further proves the point of just Shanks has something going on, because
How you know him?
Harold's looking back at him like, this is,
Bro.
I know you from somewhere. I know I do.
Bro, I just had a brain blast.
What?
Dog, how does he know Harold? Okay, no. I'm tripping. That's after. That's after.
After what?
Because, mind you, I told you chapters ago when they first showed Shanks having that mark on his arm when he was in the pool with Scopper on Elbaf. This is already after he's a guy's blade and literally knows Harold. Because he stated, I came here to talk to him, away from the folks. But that wasn't the case when they first met, because, or at that moment that we see, because from Harold's POV, that was their introduction. You feel me? So Shanks, there's no way Shanks knew him out in the real world as far as like, hey, how you doing, my brother? Nice to see you type stuff, prior to them meeting under the guy's nights, because then Harold wouldn't have had that reaction at all.
Is Luffy alive at this time?
No.
Shanks is 24 years old. You don't think Luffy's alive?
No.
I'm just, because I'm looking at the panel and it doesn't show his...
Shirahoshi's not even alive, bro. That's what they was in this chapter when Harold went and met Neptune. Neptune was literally saying, in 4 years, my daughter will be here. So and Luffy and Shirahoshi's the same age. So this is 4 years before Luffy even comes to life.
The reason I was asking is because it doesn't show Shanks' hand in this panel right here, but he does have the rest of his arm and half of his arm.
He's just swaggy. He's just swaggy right there. That's all. But yeah, Luffy wasn't born yet. So this is 4 years before even Luffy was born.
So in the chapter, they discuss or they unveil the system of covenants, right? And which determines how closely someone is bound to
Mu.
Right, Emu. So you have the Shallow's Covenant, the Depths Covenant, and the Abyssal Covenant, right? They say that Harold's in the Shallow's Covenant right now, which is kind of like the beginner pact, right?
Mm-hmm.
Becoming weapon of the Holy Knights, but you're still kind of like on the outside of the real secrets, right? At what point? No, so when Harold goes back to the castle and it's the whole situation with him where he dies, which covenant do you think he was at that point?
I don't think he ever upgraded.
Don't think so?
No, because in the chapter it states that once he does upgrade, Elbaf will officially be a part of the world government. They never officially became a part of the world government. So I don't think he ever ascended past that. But I also believe that, well, what we know, there's only 13 spots overall for the deeper contracts. It's only 13. 5 of those are to the elders. So, and I think that they probably have, my best guess, I would say the elders have the abyssal one, the one that's closest to Mu, because they have the beast, the pig, the worm, whatever. I think the blade, the knights are that next level, because they can travel through the abyss and they can do all of that. But it was also stated in the chapter about the covenants that once you receive the next level seal, you will be taken into the depths of the abyss and you'll learn the true secrets of the world. Like the elders stated that. So that makes me wonder, obviously Musama knows, because he's probably he or she is like the oldest thing we know of so far in the story. But do the elders know as well? You feel me? Like the same world history that Roger and them found out. Are they aware like the Roger powers is aware? Or are they being, breadcrumb too?
I don't know. They are
That's a
the
good, you know what I'm
Abyssal
saying?
Covenant, which is pretty much the deepest.
Yeah, it's the closest to Mu as possible, but we know how Mu works. Like Mu stated, I don't have sides. I'm on nobody's team. So,
I'm pretty sure there's some things that they don't know, right?
I mean, probably things that predate their existence. Cause like for example, Frigolin just became one of the elders to replace Saturn, right?
So we know that they haven't been around the whole time.
Yeah,
There's
so
probably been more of
yeah.
them
You know what I'm
that took
saying?
place.
This has been a
Good.
system of, if you keep your spot if you do good, and if not, you can be replaced. So I think that they probably know what they know, like from the point that they got there. Anything prior to that, it's probably the same rules as if you find out we kill you, because that's just how they get down.
I'm just waiting to see what they show. Like I want to see that scene, bro, of what actually happens in that castle, because part of me just believes that he wasn't dummy reversed and he went there on orders to do something and they just weren't going for it. But it's like, what would that be?
I mean, bruh, I just don't. Only reason I don't think he was there on orders is because none of the village seen him. They stated that,
No, he came. Obviously, he came through the,
yeah. So it's like,
what is it called?
why did I just
The
have a brain fart?
pentagram?
The pentagram. He
Yeah,
came through that, obviously, because like you
the
said,
abyss.
nobody knew he was there. But he could have been possessed, just like Emu possesses Gunko, or he possessed Saturn on God Valley. So it's possible that he was possessed, or he went on orders or something, and then Emu didn't like what he was seeing, so he was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and take over, like he just did on Elbaf with Gunko, or like he did on God Valley.
With
So it's like,
Saturn, yeah.
yeah,
But it's just like, I mean, I don't know. I just think, well, we know for a fact hockey is deeply tied to all of these things. You can't just take over somebody if they're as strong as you are. We know Harald is one of the strongest beings alive. He's an ancient giant. There's no mistake about it. I just don't think it's a coincidence that we see the man being stabbed in a circle. Like I feel like I feel like Mu had to weaken his will. Like I had to stamp you first so that I would actually be able to have real control over you. I can't do nothing with you if I can't control you.
but he's also like he's become fully devoted to the world government because he has this dream of Elbaf becoming a part of the world government. But who's to say the rest of his peers, or not his peers, but the rest of his people agree with that? Because
Exactly.
Well,
the giants
the
were known
only
to like wreak havoc over the world, or cause terror and things like that because they were pirates.
so from what we have as far as information from the text, um, the only people that we are aware of that was against Harold and the world government is the uh what's her name? Loki's original mama, her peoples. Their faction, like their little city, they didn't like the fact that he was messing with little giants. They didn't like the fact that he was trying to be peaceful. Nothing. But everybody else was cool with it. And the only reason I say that is because when Ida fell sick, one of the giants goes, why don't we just have Harold send one of the best doctors over because we're part of the world government now? And she was like, no, he doesn't have to do that. And they were like, yo, you know what I'm saying? What would be the purpose of his connection with them if they can't even be useful? So I think a lot of Elbaf believed in Harold and, truly thought that this was a beneficial path for them. And I also double down on that because in modern Elbaf, they still teach his principles. They didn't go back to the warrior race of destruction that they were prior to him taking over. They're still living out his ideologies. So I think I feel like it was probably 50-50. Half of Elbaf didn't, the other half did, but I think that's just anything with society.
It makes you question it, or it's just up in the air because Loki was talking about his dad becoming the world government's lapdog and things like that. So it'll just be interesting to see how that unfolds. What do you think the significance is on them showing this panel of Harold and King Neptune down in on Fishman Island?
Is this a general question?
Yeah.
I think this is just the showing of just all the main races and like species that's going to be involved in the ending war. Like, I think it's showing you the connection of the giants and the fishmen and how they are going to be like important pieces of the final battle because of course he was like, I think she's my child of prophecy is supposed to be born soon and she's supposed to come with some powers. Like,
You think
hey,
Loki and
what do you think
Shirahoshi gonna
about your
get married?
son? The same, it might be. I think that is something like that might end up
They
intertwining. I think
could.
that's all what's going to end up coming in to play at the final battle.
Yeah, I think well, not what I think. I know that Shirahoshi is Poseidon. She commands the Sea Kings. We know this. We know that Luffy is the sun god Nika and, child of prophecy from the D people, but we do not know the significance of Loki. We know that he was the cursed prince from birth and they, threw him away and all of that.
We also know that he's in the mirror.
Yeah, but we do not know like his actual like again, we know Shirahoshi's Poseidon. We understand that her role in this is commanding the Sea Kings. We just don't understand what Loki's is. Again, we know Luffy, to liberate the people, to free the world. But Loki is just as significant as Luffy and Shirahoshi, and we lack the context for his purpose. And him being shown to be super cool with Shirahoshi, again, this is speculation. Because we believe that she's Mosa, that he was talking to on the phone early in the arc, was wondering, dang, who's he on the phone with? Due to, the things we've seen, I now believe that was definitely Shirahoshi. Because they've been shown to have a pretty extensive, like they cool. I don't think that they necessarily are like dating, but I do think that they are cool. And that's probably what kept him down being tied to that tree for so long, because we know from what we was told that Shanks defeated him and returned him to Elbaf, where he was then chained to the tree, whoop de whoop de whoop. I don't even think they fought really. I think Shanks probably pulled up and talked to him and let him know the same thing, just like he did with Kaido. Hey, bro, somebody's gonna come see you soon, and you should probably just wait on that. And because Shanks is who he is, they trusted and believed him. And it also makes me double down on why everybody believes Shanks. The man who was once a knight of God, that guy, it's like he holds too much weight for you to not take him at his word.
But how many people do you think actually knows he was the dude, God Knight?
And I don't know.
I don't think
I
he
don't
was
know.
there that long.
I don't think he kept that a secret. I don't know, because right now he's an open emperor. Like, he is a loud, proud pirate of the seas. Like, he's on that. I don't think he kept it a secret. I used to be one of them, and that's my daddy. Like, you feel me? I don't think he's like hiding that.
I think he's very secretive about that just because of how his character has been displayed this whole time through the story. He's a secretive guy.
Well,
Like, you just don't know what he got going on.
Yeah, he definitely omits a lot of information.
yeah,
He
but
does.
when you read the chapters in the very beginning, and I just seen this on the internet, so I'm not even gonna act like this is original to me. Credit to whoever posted it. Brother, when the bandits was messing with Luffy, what did Ben Beckman tell him? You're not dealing with saints. That's kind of ironic to say for the man named Saint Shamrock, and you his right hand man.
Saint Shanks.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Saint Shanks. You feel me though?
Yeah.
Why would Ben Beckman tell the bandit, you're not dealing with saints? That's funny terminology now that we know that that's Saint Shanks. You feel me? I at least think his crew members know. I think his crew members at least know. I don't know if the whole world of piracy knows, but at least his crew members gotta know.
What were you saying, Scotto?
I was saying that I think that play on words is even more of a reason why I don't think people know. Like, I bet he's getting a little kick. Like, he said that, what you think you deal with saints? He's probably like, yes. Like, you feel me?
Nah, for real though.
He's like, yeah, that's exactly what you're dealing with. You scum. Like, you feel me? I just don't know about the guy. I wanna believe he's a wholehearted father.
Yeah, you gotta
figure
watch
for my
him.
boy Loof.
Another
But you
thing
just
is
don't know.
they show the point where Saul shows back up to Elbaf, comes back home to Elbaf, right? And he's welcomed in by Harald, who is now a blade or a god knight or whatever. But he was a part of Ohara, and Ohara, they literally were he's supposed to be dead, pretty much.
It just goes back to my theory in which Harald defected. Bro, Harald knows good and well what you did.
Right.
Saul, you have a death sentence. Why would I let you back to the home that I'm trying to get initiated with the people who want you dead?
And put you in
Because
charge.
he didn't care.
And put you in charge
Yeah,
of the schools.
and build a school right here. He's on fish. Harald is playing his role. He's looking like a good lapdog, a good subordinate. I'm telling you, bro, I really truly believe he played until he couldn't play no more, and his cover just got blown, man.
But the history of O'Hara is supposed to be a secret, and only a certain amount of people, a handful of people, know what actually happened there. Because he's the what is it called? The blade of God?
Yeah, he's the blade.
The blade of God?
Blood of God.
Mm-hmm.
So because he's the blade of God, that doesn't necessarily mean he's on the ends of everything. Like he's still like on the he's like the first
Yeah.
level. So he might
Right.
not be it's probably like like O'Hara was probably a need to know basis and he didn't need to know. So he might not
Yeah.
know that Saul was there.
I ain't gonna lie.
Because remember, Saul was supposed to be dead and then he escapes and he goes back home.
But do you don't think Saul says anything to his peoples? That's my thing. You don't think Saul, the man who just almost died, fighting for the world government that you're trying to get us a part of, mind you, because Saul was he wasn't an admiral, but he was like a rear admiral or something like that. So I just think it's highly unlikely that Saul went back home to Elbaf, said nothing, came back to O'Hara, got all the books for the school, came back to Elbaf, and again said nothing. And he had the helps of giants getting the books out of O'Hara. We seen that. They threw them all in the ocean so that they wouldn't burn, and Saul and the giants came back and got them.
Did Saul leave the Navy on good terms or did he just go AWOL?
No,
No.
they thought he died.
tried to
Remember,
kill him
Aokiji
too.
killed him.
No, I'm saying when he actually left the Navy, was he AWOL? Or
What do you mean when he actually left?
because remember he was a Navy.
From their POV, he never left. He died. He was working as a government agent on O'Hara and decided I'm gonna help them and not kill him. And Aokiji froze him.
No, he wasn't working on O'Hara.
Yes, he was. Aokiji froze him, cuz that's why
Yeah,
why Robin was crying.
He basically washed up on O'Hara.
No, he did not.
He was not deployed to O'Hara, bro. He was there way before they showed up. That's how him and
No,
what's her name?
no.
That's how him and
You not wrong, but I'm saying he was present on O'Hara when they came to blow it up because that's where Aokiji
I know that's
froze
when he
him.
was present. I'm saying before then he was in the Navy, and at some point he
He was-
left the Navy. Did he leave the Navy
He never
on good
left.
terms, or was he AWOL?
He never left. The day that he left was the day of O'Hara. As far as they knew, like him being at O'Hara was what got him in trouble, essentially. So prior to them showing up to O'Hara to blow it up and him already being there, he wasn't in bad terms with the Navy at all. That's what Aokiji was saying to him, like, dang, bro, I can't believe you would go and do this. Like, what the heck? Aokiji wouldn't be saying this to a person that already defected or had left prior to the incident. That incident was his leaving, in a sense, because prior to that day, he was just a normal Navy officer like everybody else. And I'm only saying that because we seen him talk to Aokiji and they had a very extensive conversation about, why he was doing this. And Aokiji just couldn't understand, but out of respect for Saul, because he laid his life down, he let Robin escape. That's the one good deed I could do for my boy. I couldn't let you leave. I couldn't do a lot of stuff I probably wanted to, but since you laid your life down to help this young woman escape, the least I can do is do that.
The giant Jaguar D. Saul left the Navy when he defected. He abandoned the Marines because he couldn't abide their plan to destroy a group of nonviolent archaeologists.
O'Hara.
So yeah, he was AWOL. He was a deserter, and he left.
I'm saying
before
until
he
that
went to,
incident, when they told him that they were gonna go blow it up, that's when he announced. Okay, that's why he was there to try to warn
No,
them.
because remember he was on the island. He was like, when he found out he was like, oh, just my luck. Basically, I show up at the time that
y'all come to blow it up.
You're right.
Yeah, literally.
So,
but that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that like. I'm saying when they announced to him that they're doing away with O'Hara, that's the day I'm done with this.
Yeah.
So prior to that, he was just a normal officer. That moment in time is what made him defect. So all of that is like the same time. You know what I'm saying? It might not have been the literal same day that happened, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. He was a deserter. He's thought to be dead after Aokiji freezes him. And then, like you said, he takes the books and then he goes back to Elbaf and all that. And then obviously Harold knows that he's there, so just opens some more questions,
Yeah.
right?
I think, but no, I definitely
Mhm.
think Harold knows though, because the books of Elbaf are the books from O'Hara. And we know this because they showed us the owl guy in Elbaf whose job is to make books bigger so they can use them. So, I mean, that's just no way that you almost die in the incident, make it back home, you leave home, go get something from the incident and come back with people. Like you bought other giants from the crib to go help you do that. Ain't no way nobody knows. I think he knows and just don't care. Cause I still believe Harold's playing a role, bro. Like I'm telling you, him crying over rocks was deep, cuz like he was crystal clear. I let my boy down, so I'm going to see it through. I really truly think he's doing what he needs to do to accomplish his end goal, but I do not like I don't think he's just a happy-go-lucky lapdog of the government just, willy-nilly doing what they say. No, 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 no. He has an underlying mission here.
Are you saying that he's upset at the facts, upset at what happened to Rock, so he's pretty much got his own motive
Yes.
as well?
Yes, he literally stated that though, because I let my friend die. I could have helped you. I chose not to help you, and look where it
So
got
you
you.
think he's double agent as well?
For sure.
And that's why he goes back to the castle and does what he does, and he moved Dom reverses
Yeah.
him, in your opinion.
I think that for sure. Because look how jolly he is, bro. Look how happy he works for them. It's unnatural.
I don't know, bro. I think the story said he was deranged, and
That's
he's just so stuck on them being a part of the world government that he would willing to do anything that they want.
bro, I only think that's the case because in order for us to believe it, he gotta show it.
I don't know. They actually killed this man, bro. Like we saw that at the end of the God Valley incident, we saw that the Dominaverse can be reversed.
Yeah, for sure.
So they actually killed this man.
Yeah, no. And they blame Loki.
That's another reason why I'm just like, it's possible he wasn't possessed, bro. I don't know. We're just kind of going back and forth. Me personally, I'm going in circles with that. I know I keep bringing it up.
Nah,
It's
because
just
it's every time we find out new information, because it's really adding to it's
New
adding to the
theories are
lore,
added
man.
to that.
Go ahead.
I was agreeing with you. I was saying new theories get added in with that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not, we know something happened in that castle, but with all of this new information, I really pay attention to how hard he cried over rocks. Him finding out how rocks passed, like that hurt him. Like as a living individual, that wasn't just dang, my boy. No, like he genuinely felt that. So I'm thinking he's just digging deep. You feel me? Because how much of a spit in the face would it be for you to come to me and say, "Cuz help me, take down the world government," and I keep telling you no, and then after they kill you, now I'm about to try to take them down. And that's why I don't believe that he would ever like got on the same time as Rocks. He was always gonna take the route he's taking now because he's trying to accomplish the same thing as Rocks, just through different means. Rocks wanted to go and destroy everything. Let's muck it up. Let's, destruction, havoc, rah. Harold was like, bro, we can literally do the same thing just through peace. Because my people have already been tarnished with, it's easy for you, little man. You can go break stuff. Not so easy for us.
yeah.
Like, it's a whole nother stigma.
At the end of the chapter, it transitions to them talking about or showing Ida being sick, right? And then it's showing that she's pretty much on bed rest, and Harudin's out looking for medicine, looking for doctors and things like that, and Loki is taking care of her at home. He's still talking shit to her, right? But he's making sure she's fed and things like that. And then it shows that the people of which village? The Brewers Village goes to Loki and tells him, hey, we don't think that an outsider woman like her should become the queen. So we gave her this little poison. That's why she's sick. Thinking Loki's gonna be cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No. Y'all did what?
Exactly. So it shows Loki basically killing everybody from the Brewer Village. Right? Just going into rage. Like, listen, like, she's not about to die, is she? From whatever y'all done did.
The thing is, bro, it's crazy because Buddy was crystal clear. I slipped that little pill, and once these spores get a hold of you,
Ain't no way she's
ain't no
surviving.
going back. Like, that's literally what he said. He proceeded to beat that man half to death and look him in his face, grabbing him by his neck. Now, I want you to tell me right now, she's not gonna die. Brother, she's out of here.
He said, because he was saying, I remember my biological mother, and
Yeah, she's
she threw me
bogus.
to the underworld.
Yeah, she's
Like,
bogus.
I was the only mom I ever had. So tell me she's not about to die.
Yeah, because, I mean, hey, and I get why Loki, I mean, it's just he is presented to us as like this big lovable teddy bear, but everybody just treats him so bad. But he's still a bird, you know? It's like he probably would be way nicer if people was just nicer to him. He'd probably be a cool guy. But since
No,
birth,
they portray him as he's.
I'm saying from birth, they threw him away immediately.
Mhm.
When he came out, they threw him away.
Oh, you say he was presented to us
I'm saying
as a baby.
Yeah, I'm saying
No,
like
he's presented to us as a baby, as a demon. With them horns and that's how he was presented.
But no, because that's the perception of his mom.
Yeah, that's how he was
Him, Loki, the
presented.
person, he's been shown to care for others, and like again, how he treats Ida, how he treats his big brother. They bicker, but he actually treats these people well. He's not the demon that they portray him to be. Yes, he's big and
But
he's
he
strong.
was terrorizing. He was tearing shit up. Like he wasn't.
He was just like his daddy.
Big lovable teddy bear. He was tearing shit up.
He was just like his daddy, but he had a reason. Harald was doing it just off the strength. You can't stop me. Bro, y'all threw me away. Y'all actively bully me right now. Why would I not beat you up? And you can't stop me. That's literally what's going on with Loki since birth. He's being bullied. And every time he does something to defend himself or rectify something, oh my gosh, the big giant angry man's at it again. No. You don't throw him away. He doesn't hate you for life. Simple. You know, you don't tell the whole village he's the child of demon prophecy that's going to end us all. Imagine how other people treated him because of that. Yeah, bro, I think that he's just been, I think he's the recipient of a bunch of mistreatment. And because he's not a punk, like he's not Usopp, he's not going for that. You hit me, I'm breaking your neck. That's how Loki gets down. Now, people think he's a bad guy for that, but I mean, when we just look at what he's went through, he did nothing. It all happened to him, and he just reacted. He pops up at his daddy's castle after they smoke his mama. You know, we find out that they poison his mother figure. And the man goes to slide on his pops, and y'all said that he killed him. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we don't know the ins and outs of what actually happened that day, but still, this is a common thing. Other people do bad things, and then we just look at Loki and it's his fault. And then he's just never going. He's never like, oh, okay, you're right. No. He's like, actually, hecky no. And he's trying to fight about it. So it's like, you know, I didn't expect that. I kind of thought he would be more menacing, more cold, but he's clearly displaying love. Like he just destroyed a whole town purely out of love. Like my mama, bro. Like, again, not for your goodies, not, bro, I'm doing this because you caused harm to somebody I care about.
Yeah, Loki's life's been tragic.
Like, bro, he's a loving guy. It just sucks that this has to be the case.
They do him the worst. A whole lot of bad stuff happened to him. He's, like you said, he was thrown to the underworld as a baby, grows up, everybody hates him. His dad's never there.
Feel me?
Then the only mom he ever had gets poisoned.
You feel me? And by default, he was mean to his big brother because his big brother was smaller than him. But think about what the man's going through. Your father had a baby by someone who's not accepted by the entirety of your country. That's your brother. So the same way that they already treat you like trash, not only are you the demon child, but you have a mutt. You have an unacceptable offspring. Both of you suck. We hate you all. I mean, Haruden took it better than Loki. Loki just wasn't going. You watch your mouth. I'm going to beat you up about that. And that's what he did. But that got perceived as, you know, the demon child of prophecy. He's living out the prophecy.
It'll also be interesting to see how Harald takes the news of Ida's death and what he does from there.
I think that's where he started to defect, honestly.
Well, that has nothing to do with the government, though.
No, I just think that bad things happened over time that's really started to change his, you know what I'm saying? Like Martin Luther King in a sense. I thought this was the way, and then I got here and I did it, and now I'm realizing, oh my God, maybe this wasn't. I'm thinking of something like that. Just events over time added up and had Harold thinking like, yo, did I just walk us into that burning fire?
That'll be interesting to see. It's just Oda, man, he just keeps going deeper and deeper into these, what do they call it, into these flashbacks,
Yeah, man, these backstories, these
these
people
backstories.
are way more significant than we could have ever imagined. Heading into Elbaf, I didn't care if they had a king or not. I don't care who runs the country. Hey, bro, I care a whole lot now. Harold's my boy. For real though, like it's a lot of nuance and just subtlety that he throws out there with these people. I mean, think about how much Kuma, you know, matters.
But this is still Loki's flashback,
Yeah, that was
right?
God Valley Part 2.
Right. This is Loki's flashback of everything that's just us learning about his history. I don't know, man. It's just a lot to process.
It is. But one thing that keeps me like grounded is remembering where we are currently in the story. Zoro is about to learn how he can correctly apply his conqueror's haki. Luffy is about to learn how through conqueror's haki you can negate the regeneration from the knights. And prior to us heading into this flashback, these were the main points. Sanji's jealous that, hold on, where's my conquerors? Wow, what you mean Zoro got it and I don't? What's up with that? Luffy's learning how to, apply his conqueror's haki to defeat the current foes. And yeah, all of the things that we're witnessing in this flashback directly have to do with that. So Dami Reversi, because that just happened to Dorian Bragi, and the application of how to properly use Conqueror's Haki to negate the problem of Dorian Bragi and the other turned giants. I think this entire flashback, like that's the base. We done branched out and went 100 different places, but that's the moral of the story right there. We're gonna learn what this does, how we can fix it, and how we can use the lessons of the past to apply them right now. Because actively, whenever we get out of this flashback, oh, it's up. Like they're fighting right here, right now. We ain't got to wait for them to link up. No. People have been reversed. The Elbaf's on fire. The Holy Land's on fire. It's busting right now.
Yeah. I think the biggest takeaways from me from this chapter are the showing of or revealing Shanks became a devoted blade of God, and also going into the three covenants and explaining what those mean and the levels and just describing that. I think showing Saul show back up to Elbaf was an important piece of this chapter as well. And then obviously Ida's death and how that's going to take a toll on Loki and frame events that happen in the future. It'll be interesting to see how all of that unwraps because Shanks obviously now is Emperor of the Sea. He's a pirate, right? And he obviously has a relationship with Loki. He's been to Elbaf plenty of times. It'll just be interesting to see the dynamic, how that dynamic is explained, and all of the things that they have talked about and or planned
Yeah.
together.
Because we know that they have a solid relationship. Because when Loki was jokingly, calling him a loser, and Luffy almost took his head off, he was like, yo, chill out. Like, bro, I didn't even mean it. Relax. And I'm tied to a tree. Is this really what you want? You know I can't help myself, little man.
Who tied him up to the tree? You think Shanks?
No, Shanks returned. Well, from what we were told, Shanks and Loki fought. Shanks defeated Loki. He returned him to Elbaf, where they tied him to the tree.
Okay, they tied him to the tree.
Yeah. I doubt. I mean,
But I doubt they fought,
Shanks.
right?
No, no. I think it was like kind of. They probably clashed because that's what strong people do. You know what I'm saying? In order for me to respect you, we have to be of mutual. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just listening to anybody now.
Right.
So I think they probably had a good clash, but I'm pretty sure it was an exchange of information. Loki, I know that this time is going to come because these things have happened. And because of these things happening, I need you to be here to do this because you remember what happened to your daddy. I think that's, again, him having that seal Even though they don't know it all, he got way more information. Like, I think that's Shanks's overall power. He holds the knowledge of the free world secrets. You know what I'm saying? But he also holds knowledge of secrets that the world government will never release. So that's kind of his edge against everybody. There's knowledgeable pirates, but they don't know what the world government know. The Five Elders are pretty knowledgeable. They don't know everything the pirates know. Feel me? Like the poneglyphs is one of the prime examples of that, because if the world government knew where the red poneglyphs was, they would literally destroy the places that housed them and make sure that you would never be able to find them, because that is the key to the One Piece. Yet they have no idea, because all of these places happen to be all the places we've seen have a poneglyph are unaffiliated with the world government, number one. And if you're not, affiliated with them, no one goes here. Nobody goes to Wano. Nobody goes to Fishman Island outside of like pirates. So it's like,
Yeah. I know one thing's for sure, though. Shanks is a hell of an actor. Whether he's a good guy or a bad guy, because he could either be very pretentious, like the rest of the Celestials, or he could just be a cool dude. But he's able to play his role like perfectly.
he's who he need to be when it matters.
Right. So
And that's the scariest thing in the world.
figuring out who he actually is will be crazy.
But one thing we do know, he has the trust of his crew. I mean, my thing is, bro, I have no choice but to think he's a good guy. The man has the weakest fleet of pirates we've ever seen, literally speaking. Only because, man, y'all cool, so I protect you.
He's just playing his role, though.
You feel me? And then also it's like his crewmates. He don't have a crew like Blackbird. Blackbird's crew gives vibes that they might betray him. Maybe. Nah, bro. Shanks' crew, these boys is loyal to the soil, to the bone. They wish you would. Every single one of them. You feel me? So it's like, whoever he is, at least to his crewmates, they trust him. They think he's a pretty solid guy.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it unwraps, bro. But that's our time for today. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Ship Talk. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you again next week.